Hello, hello. Stephanie Zima here, talking to you this week about toxic emotions and how they can hinder your success in your business. Okay. So, when you think about it, what is walk it free? It is healing, it is connecting, and it's leveling up. But what does that mean, right? What is the it? Walk it free is it the toxic emotions, for example. Okay, network marketers, online entrepreneurs, anyone who is building a business basically is dealing with feelings of self doubt, feelings of financial stress, of competition, fear, failure, um, any of those kind of things, not feeling sufficient enough. Those emotions are toxic emotions unless they're being dealt with. And so many of us are not dealing with these emotions, and it shows up in your procrastination. It shows up in your lack of activity. It shows up in just quitting, right? I mean, all of these things are showing up when you're not dealing with the fear and with the insufficient feelings that are basically, how do I say that? We don't talk about those are harsh, right? Because they're also triggering guilt and shame. And guilt and shame is not good. When we feel like we don't know enough, we are not going out. Majority of people are not going out and say, hey, I don't know this, right? Most of you are trying to conceal that they don't know and that you don't know. When in fact, that is the worst you can do, because you are suppressing these emotions. You're suppressing the feelings of insufficiency and when you stuff that down, when you suppress that, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you end up losing, right? But if you want to win, you have to address these toxic emotions. You have to address it. There's no other way around it. So common toxic emotions would be the overwhelm, the self-doubt. That's what I'm talking about. And it's navigating the uncertainty and the risk that you're taking when you're in a business. Entrepreneurship is really just a risky, uncertain thing. And if you are not comfortable with uncertainty, then that can really just spiral you down to where you are not going to be. Handling criticism can also be super tough, right? Handling criticism and the competition can be super, super, super tough. When you are not having a solid foundation, right, of confidence, of bravery, of courage, you are likely to let your toxic emotions take the front seat, okay, the driver's seat. Those then will determine that you're going to be procrastinating, or that you're going to quit, or that you're going to decide that this is not good for you. What you need to do if you want to prevent burnout and if you want to really succeed in your business is you have to put these toxic emotions in the driver's seat, and I mean in the forefront, not in the driver's seat, passenger seat. Okay, so you are in the driver's seat, being taking responsibility of your own action, of your mindset, of your goals. Like, you have to take responsibility. You have to accept yourself with all your flaws and all your good things, because your ego only want to tell you you're doing great, unless you're listening to your alter ego that's telling you that you're bad, right? But in any way, whatever you're listening to, you need to start taking responsibility for these thoughts that are in your brain, these thoughts that are deciding your life. Okay, and then to the side of you on your passenger seat, that's where your emotions are feeling, right? Because your thoughts are creating, like, your feelings are creating your thoughts. Okay, so your passenger side gives you really big, or has a big influence, right? I mean, when you're driving a car, think about it. If you're driving the car and your passenger is going to say, "Watch out," what are you going to do? You instantly react, don't you? You instantly react. Oops. So this is, I get very excited. So that's actually what's happening. Okay, so your passenger, your feelings are going to say, "Watch out." And so you're immediately having thoughts, and your thoughts are going to create the action. So the action would then be procrastination. Okay, so you're having thoughts of feeling or lack of doubt or whatever. That's your toxic emotions, right? The emotions talking, and then you're creating a thought, and then your thought is creating an action such as procrastination. You're not moving, you're not doing anything. And the action will create the result, which then again proves these dang emotions correct, because they were warning you because you suck, you shouldn't be doing any of these things. Well, your actions prove that you actually shouldn't be doing any of these things because you really don't know what you're talking about. And so goes this toxic cycle over and over and over again. Now, how do we get through this? How do we get through this toxic cycle? You have to find out the root cause. Why are our emotions saying we are not good enough? What are they even inferring? Where is it? Is it doubt? Is it imposter? Is it feeling? Is it overwhelm? Where is it? And then you have to get a strategy and say, let's see, this is in our paradigm, our inner belief system that has been put on us by our environment, our caregivers, our parents, our, where we grow up, our culture, all these things, our environment. All this was data that went into our inner paradigm, our belief system, our identity. And whatever we believe is what we will make true. Okay. So if you believe that you are not good, okay, if you are believing full heartedly that you can't do these things, then you won't be able to do it. So if that is in your paradigm, then you will always choose the actions that will give you results that are not so great. Okay. So what you need to do to break the cycle is you need to change that paradigm. You have to work through this. You have to figure out, is this true? Do I believe this? Do I not believe this? Do I have the skill set? No. And everything that answers this, please don't mind my dogs. Oh my gosh. They're running out of patience with me today, apparently. Okay, so you have to go through and really decide, do I still believe this, right? And the answer to that is curiosity. Curiosity. You have to become curious. Can I do this? What skill do I need to learn to make this happen? Hey, sorry. What skill do I need to learn to make that happen? What feeling do I need to create? Like, how do I need my environment to have? So, for example, like this, right? It's distracting for me. If my dogs are playing in the background, it's distracting for me. So, I needed to make a change to that environment. I needed to make a change to that stimuli. So, you have to know yourself. What is going to keep you going? What is it that keeps you motivated? And then you have to work it accordingly. Okay, so having said that, you have your paradigm. Get curious whether or not that whatever is in that paradigm, the thoughts, the emotions that are creating your thoughts, if those are still accurate. And then from those thoughts, right, if you realize that these thoughts are no longer serving you, that is not according to what you actually want to create, then you have to change these thoughts, because when you change these thoughts, you are also going to change your actions. And when you change your actions, you're going to change your results. This is why coaching and mentorship is so valuable, because you sometimes can't see your blind spots. You cannot see what is happening for yourself. What are you saying to yourself? Because you're in the midst of it. It's all subconscious. And when it's subconscious, it's going to take an outside person to see what you're doing. Okay. So that's what it is. You have to break that cycle. You have to break it through, rework that script, that inner script. See that cycle that you have. Whatever is on your driver's seat, on your passenger seat, what are those emotions? Can we heal those? Is there a trigger? Is there a hurt? Is there a wound? Is there a wound that we need to heal? Okay. When we heal that wound, what do you think is going to happen to the thoughts? That probably will change your thoughts. When your wound is healed, let's say, for example, you have the wound, I am not good enough. I never succeeded, and no one believes in me. No one ever sees me, and no one trusts that I can do hard things. I'm not good enough. Okay. When you have that wound, for example, then you can look out for proof. Are you really not good enough? What are your skills? Let's find different proof that proves the opposite, right? And gives you proof that you are good enough, that you are loved, that you are willing to learn, that you are coachable, that you are in the right program, that you are, you name it, you fill in the blanks. And then when you give your brain different input, see, because sometimes we think it's permanent, whatever is in our brain is permanent. That's not true. You can overcome and overdo anything that your brain originally thought by feeding it new information. See, the brain is enclosed in complete darkness, and the only way how it has information is by what we see, what we hear, and what we smell, right? Smell and taste. That's like all the senses is what in touch, right? All the senses is what goes on information into our brain. Now, think about it. If you keep it at what it learned, it's always going to stay there. But if you keep it and give it more input, more data, new proof, new studies, new technology, new trying, new input, you are going to change that script. And so that yucky emotion on the passenger seat here will now start feeling excited. Okay, you win something, so now you're feeling excited, and when you feel excited, you're thinking, oh, I can do this. And from the thought of I can do this comes an action of I'm going to do more of that, and from that action comes, see, I crushed it, I am amazing, and so on and so forth. And now you have broken the pattern. It's super simple, but it all starts with your toxic emotions that are sitting on that passenger seat. You have to bring them to the light. You have to shine it very bright. You have to talk about it. You have to figure out your roots, your triggers, and then you have to redefine your paradigm. And then you have to take accountability and actually measure it through. And that is why Walk It Free is so valuable, because that is exactly the work that we're doing. And that's why I also say it has to be a year. You have to commit to a year, because this work is not something you learn in 5 seconds or in a 5 hour online course, right? You can maybe learn what I'm teaching you, but you are not doing it. You're not applying it. It's going to take time to identify what feelings that I have. Where's my wound? Where's my core? Where's my, it's going to take some time. So that's why that is going on. But you make the decision. Ask me any questions that you have. Please communicate with me. If you need me to train on something, please comment. Please send me a DM. Ask me. And if you think that you've got some work to do, make sure you check out www.walkitfree.com, or somewhere here in the comments, or somewhere here is a meet and greet. Get on a coaching call with me. Let's talk about things and let's walk it